the Prime Minister's bid to sell her Brexit deal, agreed with the EU yesterday, to MPs and, of course, the wider public. Well, let's speak now to the Brexit Secretary, Stephen Barclay, who joins us from our Westminster studio. Mr Barclay, very good morning to you. And first time we've spoken, so I should say congratulations on the new job. If anyone's going to know, the Brexit Secretary probably will. Reports this morning that there's going to be a TV debate between the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition on Brexit. What do you know?
Well, the Prime Minister will be debating with the Leader of the Opposition this afternoon in the House of Commons. She does so on a regular basis. And what she'll be doing is making the case, demonstrating that this is a good deal. It's a deal that respects the referendum. Brexiteers like me, it delivers on what we were looking for. It introduces, for example, a skills-based immigration system. It takes back control of our money, laws and borders. And this is what I campaigned for in the referendum. It delivers on that referendum result, and it's a very good deal for the United Kingdom as a whole.
Yeah, we were expecting the Prime Minister, of course, to debate the Leader of the Opposition this afternoon because it's on the order paper. What we weren't expecting was to hear that she wants to have a TV debate with him because she ducked one at the 2017 election.
Well, I haven't seen plans for that, but obviously I know this is an issue that you and Sky as a whole have campaigned on in terms of the general election, and I'm sure your voice on that will be heard in the coming days.
Do you think it's a good idea?
Well, it's a decision to be taken in due course. I think we have a lot of debates between the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition in the House of Commons. But what the whole Cabinet needs to be doing, I'm looking forward to playing my part in, is making the case this is a deal that delivers on the referendum. And we've had a very divisive period over the last 2 years. And it's now time that we come together as a country, we move on and we deliver on this deal so that we can give business the certainty it needs and also give certainty to the EU citizens living in the UK and to our citizens living in Europe.
The key question, of course, for the Prime Minister right now is, as you know, the arithmetic in the Commons doesn't quite seem to be there for her to get the deal through. It's how exactly you persuade the 80, maybe 90 or so of your own MPs that this deal is not only the best deal, but it's the only deal. How is the Prime Minister going to secure votes from people who seem so implacably opposed to that which she's agreed with the EU?
Well, you're absolutely right. This is the best deal, and it's also the only deal. And EU leaders have made that clear. It's taken 2 years of tough negotiation to get to this point, with the Prime Minister working day and night to fight.
OK, but how are you going to sell it? How are you going to sell it to people who have already stated they would not vote for it in the form in which it's in?
Well, some people rushed out with their judgments very quickly. Obviously, it's looking at the withdrawal agreement together with the political declaration. It's a package. We need to make the case. The Cabinet as a whole needs to make the case. I mean, I don't pretend for a minute it's not a challenging task, given where the numbers currently look. But this is a good deal that respects the referendum result, and we need to be clear with parliamentary colleagues as to what the alternative will be, which will be massive uncertainty from either no deal or no Brexit. That's not in the interests of their constituents. It's not in the interest of protecting jobs, of giving certainty to EU citizens in areas like the NHS, where we rely on EU citizens alongside our own citizens, and it doesn't give security for our British citizens in Europe.
But you absolutely hit the nail on the head there. I mean, what plenty of people are looking for right now is clarity as to what happens if this deal is not agreed to. So simply put, you know, if one of your parliamentary colleagues turns around and says, look, what happens? What happens if the Commons says no to this? What do you respond?
Well, we go into uncharted waters and there'll be a huge amount of uncertainty.
I mean, I'm sorry, Mr Barclay, that's surely not enough. We're in uncharted waters. You must have, at the very least, considered the possibility that on a binary vote, yes, no, with the numbers against you as it stands right now, that you might not get the vote. What happens if the Commons says no?
Well, clearly the government has been preparing for different scenarios in terms of our no-deal planning, but that's very unattractive in terms of the uncertainty that would give to business, the impact that would have investment on jobs. And what really matters here is thinking about your viewers, their jobs, their security, what the business community of our country needs in terms of its investment decisions. And we have a deal on the table. It's the only deal, as you say, which respects the referendum result, that Brexit Brexiteers like me campaigned for, that allows us to put an end to freedom of movement, to have control over not sending vast sums of money to the EU. So it delivers on what Brexiteers like me campaigned for, but it avoids the uncertainty of the alternative, which is no deal, no Brexit. And that is what parliamentarians need to reflect on
just to be clear,
as they
Mr.
look at
Barclay,
the deal.
you said it there. The alternative is no deal. So if the Commons says no, no deal is what's going to happen.
Well, this is the only deal on the table. European leaders have made that clear. And we've got a good deal. This is a deal that is good for the United Kingdom as a whole, that allows us to take control of fishing, that takes our agriculture out of the very unpopular common agricultural policy, that allows us to have close security links with Europe, but also to respect the trading links that we need. So this is a good deal. It's one that respects the United Kingdom. It gives our businesses the certainty to protect jobs, the jobs of your viewers. And the alternative, as European leaders have made after what has been a very difficult and intense 2 years of negotiation, is that this is the only deal on the table. And parliamentarians really need to reflect on the uncertainty that would result from not supporting a deal that respects the referendum. And there's
I just want to be absolutely clear, Mr. Barclay, because I don't want anyone to misinterpret your remarks. Just the same question again. You mentioned no deal there. If the Commons says no to the deal that's on the table, no deal is the alternative. That is what will happen. That is what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is it will be uncertain. It'll be no deal or no Brexit. There isn't an alternative deal on the table from the European Union. It's taken us 2 years of very tough negotiation to get to this point. And we need to give businesses the certainty. We need to give our citizens the certainty that this deal will do. And this is a deal that, as I say, allows us to take control of our own immigration, of our borders, to have a skills-based immigration system, to have a independent coastal policy, to take our agriculture out of the common agricultural policy, to take back control of our money, borders and laws. And it's about time we get that certainty and bring the country together after what has been a very divisive 2 years.
Given that Mrs May, the people that Mrs May really needs to convince more than anyone else are the MPs in the House of Commons. Why is she embarking on this kind of tour around the aisles to try and sell this to the public? In fact, more than that, why is she trying to persuade the public of the merit in this when they don't have a vote on it?
Well, I think we need to do both. We need to take the message to the public and also to MPs. But MPs themselves gave this decision to the public. MPs voted to have a referendum to give the public a say. And so it's quite right that we take our case to the public. It was their vote, the biggest democratic decision in our country's history. The people had their say. And I think it's quite right that the people then hear from the Prime Minister on the merits of the deal. It's a deal that delivers on the vote that the people themselves made. The biggest vote in our history in the referendum, and it's right that we make our case to those who voted in it.
A busy few weeks ahead for you, no doubt. So many thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks
Stephen
very much.
Barclay, thanks for being with us.